book stage and screen. We're lucky enough to have the beautiful, well, you are beautiful, but you're gorgeous as well.
62 and a half. I've never been called beautiful before, but
everyone's beautiful in this natural
in their
life.
own way.
They are.
Yes.
We're all beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Thanks, Bruno, for joining us.
Just some people are more beautiful than others.
Yeah, true too.
Keep the lighting low in here
supermodels
too,
who get paid all the money.
Right. Well, just put the spotlight on me at the moment, okay?
Well,
So.
now, you're here to talk about your mobile art space, your writing workshops
Absolutely,
that you've
yeah.
started up.
Yeah. Look, I'm part of the Big West Festival, and
Yeah.
they have this mobile art spaces project. They've identified Arndale Park Community Centre as a place to kind of do some of their workshops, and they've asked me, as someone who's been involved in the writing business, and not writing business, but having been a teacher of people coming and not being a bit nervous about whether they think they've got a story to tell and how to tell it, and that's been my job over many years.
Great.
So they've invited me to come and start some workshops. So they're free to the public, anyone in the West.
Yeah.
They're there at Friday afternoons, but I'm also amenable to kind of going to other places. So if there's a small group somewhere that would like to have a little group, and it can be just 3 sessions before our big kind of magical day in late October, I'd be up for that too. So they can just contact me, come and see me tomorrow afternoon. I'm always there on Friday afternoons. And that was a mouthful, wasn't it?
No.
I broke all the communication rules there, didn't I? You know?
Not at all. The Arndale Park Community Centre, for those of you who don't know, is in Truganina.
It's in Truganina.
It's in the Wyndham area.
Absolutely.
Easy to get to.
But it's open to everyone in the West. We're not caught up in this, you have to be, a Truganinian.
No. Just, I hadn't heard of it.
Term?
So, I don't know. I just made it
We
up.
just invented that.
Truganunians.
It's a beautiful name, isn't it?
It is. It rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
So
Now,
anyone who's just, and you don't have to have been an established writer, you don't have to belong to a group. You might say, Bruno, can I just come and have a half-hour session with you?
Yeah.
I've got some pieces I want to write.
Yeah.
And we're calling the project This Place, This Time.
Yes, that's interesting.
Yeah,
So,
just meaning about here and now, how I got here, where I live, the street that I live in, the people who are important in my life. It doesn't have to be just about that, but that's a pretty good start for anyone to start a kind of a loose kind of sense of their life and memoir, and
it's kind of always nice, I think, when you're starting something, especially if people haven't written before, to have some kind of framework to work in.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes it can be quite daunting just starting a story. So that's pretty loose too, so you can work within it.
If I turned up to a place and they said, we're just going to do something artistic and it's up to you, I'd kind of drown
you just
in
flounder.
that. I'd want that person to say, hey, have a go at this.
Yeah.
And even though you've never painted before, pick up and try this. So that's my approach too.
Yeah,
pick up your
great.
pen, here's a little exercise, this might deliver something. Think about someone who's been a profound influence on your life. Let's see if we can kind of make a little portrait in words about them. Tell us about the street you live in. And the street we live in is our most basic kind of community, and and there's always interesting things happening in any
the
street
blank
in any
page
place.
is a nightmare for a writer. A blank page because you've got so many options, you can do anything. So then you don't know what to do at all because there's too many options.
Absolutely, and I'm like that too. And I reckon people who come to a class, they want someone to go have a go at this. If you go to a life drawing class, they'll go, here's this thing, have a go at quickly sketching it, see what you get. And I'm very much a believer in that. And then people surprise themselves because you're kind of drawing words out of them. They're starting to make little portraitures of something or a sense of place.
So what should people expect to come away with from the class?
Look, if they came to 5 classes, for example, and they don't have to, they would come away with 5, shortish pieces that say something about where they live, the place in their life, maybe how they got to be there. It might be a story of coming to. And it doesn't have to be a kind of sugary kind of representation of their life. It might be about the hardship, the left of that, the community they're finding now, maybe the sense of belonging that they're now experiencing. We had a person in the choir going, I love my choir. Every Wednesday night I escape kind of the dishes, I escape the kind of the tedium of my everyday life, and I go into this place and I meet other people who just love to sing for the sake of singing. And she said, I feel a real sense of belonging. So that choir then is the place. It's not saying it's the street in a physical way, or the Werribee River is, you know what I mean, or I have some mystical connection to that, but whatever. Footy clubs are often a great place where people belong, and often they're very encouraging places too. And so all sorts of places. I reckon you can make art anywhere. You know what I mean? You don't. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to go to the Melbourne Writers' Centre and listen to Helen Garner, as much as I love her writing and stuff like that. Yeah. So they'd come away with some small pieces and some experimentation. They go, what does that look like? And I didn't know that I could, kind of put those words together in quite that way. Or I didn't know that I actually felt that strongly about that, and I didn't realise that person had been such a powerful presence. Often it's only when people they're called upon, aren't they? Someone important has died, give the eulogy, and often people are not accustomed to speaking in those, but they come up with the goods, don't they? They come up with something quite beautiful that's a great representation of that person's life, and they find a way. I reckon the advantage of writing classes is not so much just to kind of make booklets for yourself, but to learn a way of going, can I write a foreword for something? Could I introduce something that's meaningful? Have I got a way of pulling together an event that's important in my life and finding the words to express that? Because we all do that. Yeah. And I reckon we can all, my experience is most people can, with a bit of guidance, a little bit of sculpturing, a little bit of kind of some key kind of enticing things to get, because if you don't have that...
It would be very encouraging, I can tell, just from sitting opposite you. It would be great.
I wouldn't go to a place and someone wanted to drag something out of me, or they were so high-handed. I'd be intimidated by that. You can't say to people on one hand, give us something that's precious and comes from a vulnerable place, but here are all the rules and here are all the judgments. It just kills it off, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And what about you yourself as a writer?
Well, I'm not actually a writer. I've loved teaching writing. I started teaching kind of adult literacy and returned to study, and part of the curriculum was always a kind of personal expression part of the syllabus, and I got really interested in what you could do with that, how you could find some sense of what's been important to you. So we learned, and then I would invite writers along. Out of Martin Flanagan of The Age was one whose pieces I loved as a young teacher. So I wrote to him, said, "Dear Martin, I have a group of people," and he was terribly encouraging, saying writing is important and all of that. So it kind of grew in that organic way, and then it grew into inviting all sorts of writers to speak to my students, and then they would invite their family, and then we made events out of them. So we called them Rotunda in the West as part of VU.
Oh, okay.
200 people would turn up. So you'd write to John Clark, to Raymond Gator, all these people who do amazing things in all kinds of ways. I learned to interview them, but I've been a teacher most of the time. So even a lovely interview with someone is a piece of something important. If you can get someone to come into your house and sit on your red couch and you get lost in this conversation that goes back and forth about things that have been important, I think you can capture really wonderful things. And if you don't think too deeply about it, you actually kind of give yourself away in very revealing ways. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course. And I'm sure that there's people at home thinking, that sounds like a great safe place to go and share a story, or at least work on a story.
And
the trust is important.
And also...
It doesn't have to be too revealing. And I would never say to someone, come and tell me about the most traumatic... That's not the
share that with this group of strangers.
But sometimes, when you get in a car and you're hitchhiking as a young person, and you tell the stranger everything, because there's sometimes it's
easier to tell someone.
It's easier, and people sometimes say, look, I wouldn't even tell my partner this, but I feel safer here. Because sometimes partners go, oh, that's nice, love, that's love. What I mean?
Yes,
but other people who know what it takes to kind of draw an understanding of that, and will create that beautiful atmosphere in which people will go, I'll chance my arm at this,
Wonderful. That sounds great,
Does that
Bruno.
make sense?
Yeah, so that's every Friday from 1 till maybe 5 to see how everyone goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the Arndale Park Community Centre, and that's in Federation Boulevard in Truganina.
Wow, it is indeed.
But
and
as
it doesn't
Bruno
move.
Says,
It stays there all the time.
You're willing to move, though. You're willing to go to different...
Apart from Tuesdays and Wednesdays, if a group says, Bruno, would you come to our centre? We meet in a hall. whatever, I'd be happy to formulate a little 3-week program, even a one-off workshop. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then they might then want to contribute to that big day that we have in late October, and there'll be a lot of news about that. But there'll be choirs singing, there'll be writing up, and we're going to create a website, not a website, little Facebook page soon, which will be called This Place, This Time.
Oh, okay. Well, do tell us about that. We'll certainly link onto that. But at the moment, if you do want to contact Bruno, it would be through Bruno Lettieri.
That's it.
At hotmail.com.
That's right.
And you can talk to him about not only the drop-in workshops you're doing, but also for anything else.
Absolutely. And they might just want to come and have a half-hour little chat with me, and they go, Bruno, I've got this piece. We're hoping to get kind of writing that people have kind of created now.
Beautiful.
To fit in with the display.
Yeah.
I'm not a manuscript reading service, and I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to judge a novel.
Yep.
But if you want to write what I call on a small canvas, little piece, I reckon I can kind of help you, and I can kind of help you get to that point, or tease it out of you, or just come and read it to me and say, what do you think? And you might want to perform that piece as part of that big day. But you don't have to. They're two different things.
Yes.
But you can come just for the sake of, I want to just explore some writing.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for dropping in and telling us all about that.
Wow,
that's fantastic.
That's great. Thank you for that.
We'll put some links up on our Facebook
And I'm happy
page.
for you to give my phone number. If people just want to ring and go, Bruno, will you be there at 2:00? I'm happy to create some time for them. Yeah, 0422 29 8643, and I think it's on the flyer there.
Correct.
Too. So
We'll put that up on our Facebook page.
If that's okay too.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much again,
Thanks
and
for
we'll have
having
you
me,
back and to hear all about it.